Alrighty. Now, at the MCG on Friday night, it was Footscray's 100th year anniversary, but the Pies were party poopers.
Certainly were. We had a discussion on Friday night. We're watching Nick Daicos at the moment and his highlights, and we'll talk about Sam Darcy. But we had a discussion Friday night, Damo, around who would you take? If you're starting a footy club right now, you've got one pick. Are you going to take Nick Daicos or are you going to take Sam Darcy? And Nick Daicos had 39 touches and was unbelievable. But I went with Daicos on the Friday. I watched this game on the Friday night, and even though he had 39, might have been best on ground, I was starting to change my decision to Sam Darcy. That's how good he was. That's how good both of them are. But it is two players, one very tall, one so good through the midfield, just lit up the MCG.
It required that man on screen, actually, didn't it, Darcy, more to have one of his All-Australian type best games to curtail him, Brownie, to keep him to 4 goals, 2 behinds, and the 2 behinds being the hit the post efforts from him. So it's a fascinating debate, isn't it, as to what you would do. I'd still take Nick Daicos for what it's worth, but that man on screen now is going to be doing a lot of damage for a long time for the Bulldogs.
Both incredibly skillful. How was some of his left foot kicks back inside to the corridor to open up the game? You're right, Nick Daicos is still the one because he's done it more consistently over the last couple of years, but gee, I can't wait to watch Darcy over this coming period.
All right, what about Hawthorn? Well, we saw the ladder a little earlier. They're on top, 3 from 3 and looking, well, I'm not going to say unbeatable, but they're almost unbeatable at the moment.
They're playing really good football, but what they do have is game-breaking kicks. So if you don't have game-breaking kicks, so they'd look at the Thursday and Friday night teams. This is Scrimshaw a couple of weeks ago. These are kicks into the middle of the ground which change the course of the game, change you from being defence. Look at James Sicily. Most players would be bombing this to 15 metres out. James Sicily able to pick the eyes out of that one. So that's Hawthorn. Then we go to Collingwood, who have the same thing. Nick Daicos here. Most players are bombing that. Nick Daicos wants to score. He wants the game-breaking kick. Have a look at that. Just the timing, the execution, and they get a goal out of that. Nobody wants to kick this ball here. Everyone wants to handball. They're under pressure. What are we going to do? Where are we going to put the ball? He doesn't want it. He doesn't want to kick it. Norton doesn't want to kick it. Where are we going to go? We're going to get it to a player who wants the kick, who wants to be the game breaker, and that's Bailey Dale. This goes all the way down. An easy mark. They do miss the goal. But here's Hawthorn. I've picked out 5 of them who are game-breaking kicks. Amon, Sicily, Scrimshaw, D'Ambrosio and Hardwick. Daicos side bottom to go in Houston. Bontempelli and Dale. You could almost put Darcy on his left foot in there, but Carlton, the big question mark, watching that game the other night, who are Carlton's game-breaking kicks? I haven't got one. I don't look at Carlton and go, they've got a player that can take the game on, 45-degree angle kicks through the middle of the ground, into forward 50. The better clubs have them. The top clubs, Brisbane, have them as well. I don't think Carlton do.
Did they have one last year? Did they have one last year?
Carlton?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Year before?
I haven't gone back through the years, Tony, but this year they don't have one.
Right.
You're referring to Kennedy, are you, maybe?
Sorry?
No,
Newman or
you're
Kennedy?
just saying when they played well.
Yeah,
you're asking that question.
But they, at some point last
Newman
year, they
at
must have had
times.
one.
Or they do it a different way, TJ.
Okay.
What Nathan's saying is it's a fair point at the moment. So they won't win by just bash crash. The game's gone past that and they're getting exposed for where the game has gone, I think, the last couple of weeks.
Seen with Essendon and Adelaide yesterday, like 70 more marks. Like you need to own possession of the ball to be able to fatigue your oppo.
It was a debacle for Carlton against Richmond in round 1, and then you had the OK performance against Hawthorn. But Michael Voss, post-match, just trying to hold it together. He did speak after the game. I'm not sure if we've got the audio of that, but this is what it looks like coming up. You've got the Bulldogs up next, and then Collingwood, and then you've got wins that you'd think they might get on the paper at least against West Coast and potentially North, but they're not gimmies anymore. And then you've got the Cats as well. So he just needs to hold it together.